playoff run cut short, but they're back. They're back to the table. They have certainly improved steadily as a roster. Huni's playing better and better and better, and you know, turns out, yeah, the man is certainly not over the hill yet. He's still a very good performer. Plays weak side well, plays strong side well. His Jace counter picks have been good. SwordArt, especially with the team better and better as well. They're figuring out their early identities, whatnot, and we're now into the draft phase where we're going to pick some champions. I want to see what comes out.
Over the hill is such a funny expression to me. So if it's not over the hill, is he on the hill?
Yes.
You know?
I mean, it's where on the bell. If everyone's career is a bell curve, which is not really actually how that goes, but if you're over, then you're going backwards down. You know.
So he's on the hill. Is he at the top of the mountain, Phreak?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe the top of the mountain was him going to World Finals with SKT, but maybe that was just like the first little bump up, and it's going to go, you know, win World with TSM. That's the top of the mountain, you know? Exactly.
I like it. All right. Well, Cloud9 going to be locking in Caitlyn here. We did see actually Caitlyn for the first time yesterday in a loss from Zven. And back-to-back games now. Caitlyn really hasn't been getting played at all in the LCS, so it's interesting to see that Cloud9 very clearly thinks that it is an underrated pick. I tend to agree. I do think that you can still punish some of these laners like Kaisa. People are first picking, blind picking Kaisa all the time, and it kind of reminds me back to a couple of years ago, you know, at Worlds, we had this meta where it was like Ardent Sensor meta and everyone was picking greedier and greedier and greedier picks. And it got to the point where people were like, wait, you can just pick Caitlyn and crush the lane and take everyone's towers and maybe run over. Of course, that did not happen against TL yesterday. We will see if Zven and Vulcan are able to get a bot lane advantage. On red side, they could even have support counterpick and then have both AD and support counterpick and really try to crush the 2v2, try to take over. But TSM, of course, drafting a really strong jungle top 2v2. They should have priority up there for Huni, almost guaranteed with this Renekton. And Morgana going to come through. So this is kind of the old school bot lane 2v2 that we used to see. Of course, there is a possibility that it could be going towards mid, but notably, Apollo and Hakuo used to play this a ton, and this was kind of one of the things that people used to play into Zyra Khan as a counter a lot. If you can land a binding or a trap, the follow-up is always going to be there. The CC chain is so incredibly long, and you're playing double ranged who can push. You can proc Spell Thieves incredibly easy with Morgana, get a lot of gold income, utilize the W to actually help shove the wave in and really siege those towers. So it feels like already Cloud9 going to be playing around bot lane, going to be focusing on that, and TSM may be looking towards that top side if Fudge is going to be playing weak side and against a Renekton, and TSM could ban out some of these tougher matchups like potentially Gnar. Could be very different goals here.
Interesting to see Cloud9 banning away more high-pushing, high-pressure mid laners. Tristana banned off here as well. They don't know what's going to be mid or top. Again, very unlikely Morgana is anywhere but support, though it is a possibility. So saying, nah, going to get rid of more of the physical damage carriers from Perkz. Obviously, Morgana, magic damage, it's slow, but it's there. Lillia can actually be a real mage carry out of the jungle. And we don't know what Fudge is going to play just yet, but TSM holding their mid picks for now, knowing that Orianna and Syndra are gone. If you want to play another teamfight mage, Azir is clearly there.
The ban's making a lot of sense. I mean, when you ban Syndra, you're thinking, okay, well, what would they want that would make them not want to play against Syndra, right? And Syndra is one of the toughest matchups for Tristana. So then you can intuit that, hey, maybe we should ban that out, deny that pick. Gragas going to be banned away here. I think that's actually really smart because you're already looking at this and you're thinking, okay, C9 want to play towards bot. So what would be safe for them top? Well, tank Gragas. Pretty hard to punish. So ban that away. Yes, Gnar is a fine matchup in the 1v1 against Renekton, but if you have the jungler up there, you know, assisting him and really trying to snowball that lane, it's a lot less safe than something like a tank Gragas. So Fudge will be likely playing on that weak side. We'll find out what the final pick here is going to be for Perkz. It's going to be the counter pick available to him. Azir seems like the obvious choice in the mid lane. We saw Perkz take LeBlanc into Demonte playing this, but then did comment later that he did it because he felt it was more about the player and less about the matchup. So I'll be interested to see if he has any sort of spicy counter pick here that he wants to bust out.
Interesting to see SwordArt go for a Nautilus. You can see the fact that Rel was banned away at the very beginning. No one really plays support Pantheon much anymore. Just says, yeah, look, Nautilus is just not what I'm going to go for. We're going to play standard stuff. And honestly, the CC is reasonably telegraphed. Like, if you're watching and paying attention, you can Black Shield it in time. I think there's a lot of enchanters that are very good counter picks in a Morgana. That said, with Kaisa, you probably don't win the 2-on-2 anyway, so it says, screw it. We're not going to win lane kind of regardless. Kaisa's already on the comp, so we'll pick a roaming engaged champion. We'll go for Nautilus, and we'll just try to find our engages elsewhere. Maybe we can pick off mid. It will be Viktor answering Azir in mid, by the way, so it is just kind of standard mage versus mage. Caitlyn is the primary physical damage on Cloud9's side. Plenty of magic damage with Lillia and Viktor here. And we'll see if Fudge can perform on Gnar. It's his first Gnar pick of the season here up against Huni. We saw Fake God just play this matchup, and yeah, Luna's kind of tough, but he was huge in team fights. It's Fudge's turn now.
Yeah, going to be exciting to see how that does work out. I question the Nautilus pick just because I do think it's so easy to answer the ultimate with the Black Shield. Like, I feel like you should be able to answer that 10 times out of 10. You know, the Nautilus ultimate is so slow. It's so obvious who it's going to be on. You should be able to always land that Black Shield. To your point, maybe he is just thinking, okay, we're going to be going for the roams here. I'm not going to be in lane. But then I kind of wonder, well, why not just go for an Alistar, right? Who has more of an AoE engage. It's more difficult to actually prevent the perfect engage from an Alistar, I feel, than it is from a Nautilus, who is more about that single target. Of course, you can ult through people and so on and so forth. But will be an interesting pick. And the other thing is, if you're roaming heavily, well, Caitlyn Morgana can just push and kill your tower. So there's always that to worry about. Of course, you do have good gank assist. There is potential to bring the Hecarim down there. But I am concerned for TSM in that 2v2. I think it could be a really tough matchup here.
Well, here we go. On to the Rift for, once again, an outstanding match between TSM and Cloud9. This time last year, we're talking about how Cloud9 was basically undefeated. The best team the LCS had ever seen. We're talking about the kinds of records they were putting forth, that they was even better than the breakout 2013 Cloud9, and even the championship they got right afterwards in 2014. And, hey, they made it to lock-in finals. That wasn't too bad. They had a couple of hits, couple of misses, but here they are in first place yet again. Cloud9 rebuilt their roster. They got Fudge in for Licorice, who had won 3 out of 4 All-Pros, #1 over the last 2 years. And once again, now looking at another push forwards as Cena wants to go for a late invade. They will find the binding. There's not going to be a lot of follow-up. They can't kill him, but they might force SwordArt to a very bad base. Put a hook back into Vulcan. Means quite a bit of damage, but now Lost is probably going to be forced to flash late game here. Another bind comes through. Big damage. They're going to find Spica for first blood as the team is still fighting back and forth. 2 for nothing. Oh no, the jungle, I believe, actually helped to kill off Vulcan. But you take a 2-for-1 first blood on a red buff steal.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed weird that TSM was willing to take that fight. It felt like they were losing so heavily. I was really surprised to see them just continue on into that. And Cloud9 will get 2 kills right off the bat here. Plus Blaber on a stronger early jungler in the Lillia is not only going to get the red buff, but he's going to continue the fight. So it's a 4-man invade here from Cloud9. Yes, TSM have 4 members around, but your support's already at half HP. PowerOfEvil isn't even really part of this until so much later on. So I really thought that they were just going to back it up, accept that you've lost that red. The fact that they take this fight into some of these really strong level 1 champions like the Lillia, as yeah, it did actually look like the red buff just killed Vulcan there. A little bit of a 6th member for TSM. Just seemed like a poor fight for them to take. They should have given it up. Instead, they do not. And now Blaber is actually trying to 4-buff. He's just going to follow Spica around. He actually took away, you know, some of those Raptors. He takes the red buff. Now he can potentially start up this blue buff as well. Will just be on the Grump for now. He wants to prevent any chance of a big fight there and doesn't have a smite just yet, so maybe waiting to actually start up that blue. And now Spica forced to actually just go down to his Krugs. He can't even cross map to try to answer this. So, I mean, if Blaber takes Grump and blue, already took the red, already took part of the Raptors, that is an insane start. Like, he'd get like a 9.5 camp clear.
Yeah, just going to depend on when the rest of the camps come back up, because Spica's about done in his jungle. He's getting the Krugs, and he's like, all right, well, there's a crab. And Blaber has to, like, hightail it to bot side. And you can see Blaber's just going for the top scuttle instead. So at least Spica gets a little bit more gold to his pockets. Obviously, again, not going to be a great clear. Obviously, a big advantage, but...
He can't even get the scuttle. He does, because you don't know where Lillia is, right? And it's a double buff Lillia, and you have no summoners, and he has flash. It's really risky to go over there, right? They maybe are going to try to go for it. We'll see what they can get done, but it is definitely scary. If you go for that scuttle and you just die to Lillia at the scuttle, your game is pretty over. Spica will be able to get this, it looks like, but he doesn't even have smite.
Yeah, he's 3, Blaber's 4, Spica's back out. 3 camp lead, no flash. Easy damage here. Can they get the rest of it? Yes, they can. The combos were in. This is absolute tragedy.
Get out. Ultimate 4. This is about as big of a disaster as you can get. Oh, man. Blaber is even going to take his Raptors again on respawn. This is a hate crime against Hecarim at this point. This is brutal. He's just in there taking everything away from him. The horse just wants something to do, but Blaber's not going to give it to him. It's 30 farm to 10, and Spica's dead twice.
Little did you know, the biggest natural predator of horses is, in fact, other horses. Blaber just around getting everything done. Caitlyn going for poaching. If only she had the right skin for it. I mean, there's a Safari Caitlyn skin out there. That would have been just so on the nose, like a clown get-up. But now, TP back in the lane for Fudge. This is now a double cloth armor, but not much else to do.
Vulcan's actually roaming up to protect the topside camps. He's going to try to find the Hecarim. He's up here to try to match a roam and try to find any sort of
big stun.
Play, but
Spica, good flash by Fudge. They still get the knockback though. SwordArt's almost here as well. Fudge might not be able to live. Oh no! No, Spica, he just keeps dying! He just keeps dying! At least a kill comes across for SwordArt, but holy moly, TSM!
Spica! Oh no, it's a disaster. He's not able to get the kill. Fudge gets the 1-for-1. They do deny a lot of farm here, which is pretty nice for the Renekton versus that Gnar matchup. But jeez, this is brutal as far as the beginning stages of this game. The lillia is going to get all 6 of his camps. He got both buffs. He got the Raptors twice and the enemy Gromp, as well as both Scuttles.
Ouch.
Right, let's watch this one more time. Does go in, Fudge with the early flash. Spica's still able to get behind him, but he pulls the aggro. And honestly, he would have needed to just reset the tower and get it down to someone else there. But I think maybe just kind of accepting his death and realizing if he backed out at that point with Vulcan coming in, they may not have been able to get the kill whatsoever. Yep. But 55 CS to 16, this has got to be the most
jungle diff?
Crazy jungle difference I've ever seen as far as a game start. Like, this is just absurd. It's level 6 to level 3. It's unplayable.
Yeah. Well, Team Spica Molding is right now doing the best they can to catch back up into this game. I will give SwordArt credit for a very well-played top dive. The Ignite's why the kill came through, and he held turret aggro the entire time so Huni could walk away at full health. So that was a really good play. It is still cash back in the pockets, but we haven't checked on a bot lane. And to be fair, it's pretty close, considering the fact that Zven was just gifted a bunch of free kills. The farm is practically neck and neck. There is a turret plate gone. That's going to keep getting worse, but Loss is holding on.
He is holding on, but I mean, you're like, it's not going bad when you compare it to the Hecarim. But if you just went into a normal game and you said at 7 minutes you've lost almost 3 plates, the Caitlyn has 2 kills, how would you be feeling about that game? You wouldn't be feeling that good. You're down 700 gold at 7 minutes, so yes, Loss is doing about as well as can be expected given the situation, but the gold lead is still pretty enormous here for Zven. Cloud9 in a really good spot here. You can see Hecarim heading up towards that top side. Huni is going to be going Prowler's Claw, maybe going to try to make something happen there, but Blaber 6, and this could be an easy dive.
Loss is going to go to sleep. Aftershock is on. Good cleanse. Ult back into Blaber. He's got to run away, but Perkz is here to keep him alive, so no play to be had. But hey, at least it is a summoner force. Cloud9 trading ults otherwise. Fudge down a level for now. Gnar trying to stay alive again. It is not about the Gnar in this game, but maybe it is for TSM. A nice ult comes across to keep Huni from engaging. Wants to keep that wave off his turret to make that dive not happen, but nope, they can still try.
Yeah, he's looking like he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's running away though. He's able to get out, but this is now going to be 4 plates. Yeah, I mean, honestly, C9 hungry. They're just at the buffet. This is their 4th plate.
Going back for seconds, going back for thirds, for fourths. It's only 8 minutes in the game, but Fudge definitely not having fun up on this top side. And Huni going Prowler's Claw, this is about the 1v1. This is about dominating the Gnar, being able to get up on top of him with that, burst him down. But this tower, there's just no recourse. You can't engage when you have Nautilus into Morgana.
You don't have a jungler.
So it's, and you have no jungler, yeah. So it's like there's not really any pressure whatsoever on this C9 duo. At the very least, because Blaber went down to bot and didn't get the kill, Spica is getting some farm, so he's going to be 6 relatively soon here. Of course, he's still massively behind, but will have some relevance in the game, and maybe if he can get a quick kill with his ultimate, now that he is level 6 post-base, there's maybe some avenue to try to come back here. But, I mean, losing a 9-minute turret is just so brutal, right? This is best-case scenario here for Cloud9, because the problem now is you build lethality Renekton for this 1v1, and they can just send their duo up top to take your turret. Like, you're going to be incredibly squishy.
Yep. All right, here we go. First dragon, finally, as Blaber had spent a lot of time trying to keep Spica down. He had not been prioritizing the neutral objective, so Herald's not gone. Sure, that's more TSM favorite anyway, with top lane being good. But they finally going to get the first dragon here. Good of any AD carry, by the way, to tag dragon before it dies. Either team because it'll give you a full legend stack, whether Bloodline or Alacrity. Either team can kill it, as long as you dealt damage in the last, I think, 5 seconds, you get like a big epic monster takedown credit. So more attack speed elected to the Caitlyn. Perkz now in battle with Spica, with mid laners coming around as well. This could be a 2-on-2. Nice double knockback, but does Spica have the damage? The sleep's going to come across. Blaber keeps finding ways to keep Cloud9 ahead.
Yeah, he will be able to keep them alive, but at the very least, it is the trade of ultimates across both sides, so could be a lot worse. But now comes the rotation to top. Caitlyn with the pre-10-minute mythic item completed here. Gale Force already done. Huni gonna wait here for a potential brush check, but Zven being smart about it, checking the bushes so far.
Black Shield gets rid of any chance of stun. Huni did not press W, by the way. He held on the cooldown the entire time.
Yeah, so now 4 members from TSM trying to roam top. They're gonna look to try to punish this pushing bot lane. They know that they cannot allow them to just take all the towers for free. This is how Caitlyn's really snowball games. You move around the map, you get bot lane turret quick, and then you go straight top, take that, go mid, take that. So they are trying to contest this, and that's why you saw PoE roaming up towards top lane. Of course, as C9 did back off, so did PoE. Huni's still staying up here, though, for now. We'll have to get down towards bot to answer Fudge, so now it's going to be the isolated 2v2 for now. And with Blaber on this side of the map, it gives them permission to push forward, to clear out wards, and to start the siege again.
Here we go. Auto's coming across. Zven's got to respect SwordArt. Technically was in range for something like a flash Q. Wouldn't have gotten the kill most likely because Zven has Gale Force and all the summoners and Vulcan nearby, but decides, yeah, not to go for the option. Huni gonna just absorb farm. You can see he's actually kind of looks like he's gonna freeze the lane. Never mind, he's gonna knock the entire wave down. Decides that, well, if Gnar's moving around the map and going for Rift Herald, then I'm gonna go crash this wave into the turret and maybe get a plate or two.
Yep, I think that's exactly why he started to push it, you know, as soon as Gnar did show. But the problem is, Fudge reacted very quickly, and is going to be able to get down to bot lane to actually catch the wave. So you don't really get anything by breaking that freeze, and in this case, I think it would have been actually a lot better for Huni to just maintain the freeze, knowing that Fudge can't afford to just push up to the tier 2 by himself without vision, right? So you'd actually get more of a gold advantage just by sitting back there, holding the wave, denying as much farm as possible, because now, well, you're maybe going to get a plate or something because Fudge actually decided to leash the blue first and is playing this very carefully, but Fudge should be around to pick up most of the farming experience.
All right, plate number 1. It looks like plate number 2 as well. We'll see how much, yeah, Fudge will at least get XP. We'll miss the gold on the cannon. So 320 to Huni for the push. But yeah, to your point, I still do wonder if more would have been denied on the other side by not allowing him to get anything at all. Either way, Herald was picked up regardless. There's really no threat to that anyway. Cloud9 already ahead in the 2-on-2 at top side, so it's not like Kaisa's going to help reliably. And there's going to be another turret going down. Herald this time is going to Blaber. Looks like they don't need Zven or Vulcan to have it. Nice walk into Black Shield, but the ulti comes across, and here's the ulti to go in. They're going for the big play. Exhaust is cleansed out. The flash in for Lost, and they're going to get the damage. Zven is burning, barely will live. And the rest of the team now coming across. Lost going to get sniped, going to get knocked down. Traded 1-for-1. PoE's going to look in for Zven. The shovel to make sure it happens, but he's bound inside the turret, and that means Vulcan's going to get him back. Fudge, though, has nowhere to go. Will be picked up. 3-for-2 to TSM.
Huge for TSM. They get the shutdowns as well, which is critical. Blaber was not there for the play, and they're able to have a really good engage. They got the Black Shield out on the hook from SwordArt, but because the hook still makes you travel towards your opponent, he was in position to then follow up with the ultimate on Zven, and that was the critical play there. You apply the plasma with the ultimate, in goes Lost. That was very well done, and Blaber now having to be pretty careful here. But with no movement abilities left for Huni, I don't think he's going to chase for it. Would be pretty risky.
Yeah, wasn't able to do so. Blaber runs faster. Watch that fight again. I want to see if the Q one-shots the Black Shield. It doesn't. No. So Vulcan should have just shielded Zven. Otherwise, you let this be the option.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would have been the better play for sure. You know, just be able to drop that Black Shield onto Zven, absorb the hook yourself. Of course, you are worried about getting burst down, but you do have Guardian. He did go for the Relic Shield, so he's not, you know, purely squishy style of build. And I think even just if they use the all-in on you, if Zven is free-firing, your Caitlyn is incredibly strong and has a mythic, so I don't think Kaisa can afford to just walk forward and try to all-in onto Morgana while Caitlyn's shooting her. But either way, really nicely done there for TSM. That was critical, but the plate's getting cracked here in mid lane. The turret plates have now expired, so mid lane turret is gone. Top lane turret is almost already down. This is kind of the Caitlyn dream. 14 minutes in, you almost have all 3 towers. You can move over towards this dragon, try to grab your second here as well.
11 turret plates to, I think, 2, and as you mentioned, yeah, second dragon, it's time. Vulcan with the control inside the pit. shouldn't be an auto attack range, but it does get rid of virtually all the vision. Problem is TSM has a controller themselves, so C9 gonna leash it.
Huni on the flank.
Check. Yeah. Fudge nearly Mega Gnar, so he's ready to go for this fight as well. Spica on one side. We'll see when the fight begins. PoE is now here. Perkz gonna come now back as well. Nice pull in. They've gotten Azonia's out of the... A nice pickup there. All right, Blaber claims it, flashes right back out. That is 2 dragons to Cloud9. The rest of the fight gonna be tough though. Vulcan in the front. Can't get much more out of the ulti. Fight goes 1 for 1 so far. A flash away from Fudge. And now the 4-man chase. Gale Force forward. Slow's not gonna find any targets though. Looks like TSM gonna slink away, gonna stay alive. Dragon goes to Cloud9.
Really close fight actually. TSM doing a pretty good job despite being very far behind, but because Cloud9 gets the Dragon, it is the 1 for 1. Huni also giving over a shutdown there. Cloud9 coming out ahead for sure. It looked like the Prowler's Claw there from Huni just put him straight into a Caitlyn trap, and from there it's pretty difficult to really get much done. But TSM had a good look because Perkz was actually slow to the play, and that felt like the critical difference in that was Viktor still mid lane, clearing out the wave. You look where he is, and Spica just gets around this trap. But you watch when Huni goes in here, Fudge kites back, and you can see him Prowler's Claw forward, and he Prowler's Claws, I think, directly, oh no, he got scooped actually, excuse me, by the Mega Gnar right onto the trap. So nice play there by Fudge, putting him into that lockdown, allowing him to get enough burst out to actually knock him down. And Blaber with the Zonias, keeping him alive long enough to delay the fight and grabbing the Dragon.
So back onto the game. Look at this. Of course, no one's surprised that Zven holds the massive gold lead. Huni, the leader on the other side for TSM, since he got those kills. And I mean, massive farm, right? 127 to 97. He's been absolutely winning that lane. Obviously, the jungle help certainly was part of it. Likewise for Cloud9, of course. And we'll see the sort of tale of 2 carries who can do enough. Black Shield will stop a Renekton stun, but virtually none of his damage. See if that's going to be threatening Zven down the line. He's going for rapid fire cannon for even more safety. And now Perkz going to be found out. That's going to be a ton of crowd control. The flash not going to be enough. TSM back on the board, 7-7.
Man, they are really fighting back well, despite how terribly this game started. It is a competitive game. Yes, they're down on gold, but geez, TSM really making Cloud9 work for it here and putting themselves in a position to win this game, putting themselves in a position where they're playing to win, where they're looking for picks, where they're looking to play aggressively here and not just sitting back with their disadvantage. It's impressive to see them battle back from what was a really difficult circumstance. One thing I would say is Vulcan has gotten so much gold. The Moonstone is obviously effective, but I wouldn't have mind just seeing a Zonia's rush, honestly. On support Morgana, when you are getting a lot of early gold here, I do feel like you can get away with it and be pretty effective. You look at the kind of composition that's coming out here from TSM, there's multiple members that are going to be diving into the backline, and if the Hecarim, the Renekton, the Nautilus are all diving in towards your Caitlyn, and you can counter-engage with an ultimate into Zonia's, I think it's really, really powerful and maybe something that's a little bit overlooked here.
Yeah, a real possibility here. Regardless, though, not going to be the play. We are going to see supportive builds for both these champions, actually. Blaber going towards Moonstone now himself. So really just amping up the healing to make sure that Viktor and Caitlyn are the carries. Everyone else is going to keep him alive. See if it works out for him. Certainly, Perkz has pretty good gold income, 2 kills, and good farm. So they don't super need a second mage threat. But it does mean that Blaber's going to be low damage in this game. The Zonia's rush, obviously. Kind of did the opposite build, right? Had a stopwatch, but said, now I'm going to fully upgrade. We'll go for Moonstone afterwards. Vulcan has his 1 stopwatch burn and is trying to finish Zonia's now.
Yep, exactly. Going for that same build, just in a different direction, essentially. And I think it's fine, right? I don't think it's bad by any means, going double Moonstone here. You have a lot of damage. The Gnar is doing, fine. Is going to be a pretty big source of physical damage. Caitlyn's obviously incredibly strong, already on 2 items. And Viktor is going to be a monster source of magic damage. So they're not going to be hurting as far as the DPS does go. But TSM is closing the gap more and more in this game. It's now only 1,300 gold. Yes, Cloud9 do have 2 dragons. That is big. But if TSM win the next dragon fight, take a dragon for themselves, plus the gold that you would get from winning that fight, the game is basically even, right? And I think that is incredibly impressive to see how they have played from that deficit.
Yes.
But of course, when we have Zven hitting this 3rd item, when you get IE, I tend to feel like Caitlyn is incredibly strong early, and then you kind of have this weaker part of the game, but when you do get towards IE, you can put out such consistent damage, and you really do become a pretty big threat, given that you have a lot of range and can be constantly getting at those auto attacks.
Absolutely. A little bit of poke with rapid fire. Otherwise, yeah, 650 is going to be pretty good target access all the same. Dragon is the next play. We are 25 seconds out, and Cloud9 are 5.5 minutes away from Mountain, so if they get it all, Fudge gonna hop in time to get away, but Spica still here. The flash for SwordArt, a lot of crowd control gonna land. They're just gonna pile down on poor Gnar, and he's dropped. Huni TPs to make sure he's around, and this Dragon's going to TSM, so Cloud9 have to find a counterpunch somewhere else.
They're just doing so well. I mean, Fudge is being put very far behind in this game now. He's down 50 C at this point. He's down multiple levels to Huni as well. And TSM get the Dragon. You know, they do win out on this, so Cloud9 no longer has an ultra-fast Soul as their win condition. TSM have this game right back to pretty much even at this point. You have good scaling yourselves. You have good engage yourselves. Yes, Spica is still far behind, but he's not doing a full damage Hecarim. You know, he is the tank Hecarim, so it's more okay that he's down a bit on gold because he is going for that turbo chem tank. Seems to be the new style. You talked about it in those previous games, but it's been 3 straight games of this turbo chem tank plus phase rush Hecarim, and going to be pretty effective here.
Yes, it is. Fudge just gonna catch farm. Just wants to be a tank, wants to survive. Plenty of magic damage though on the roster, of course. PowerOfEvil gonna be a big carry with 180 CS and 2 kills, and lost 25-30% almost regardless of build, to be honest. So we probably won't see Fudge get much MR anyway, but with his armor, you know, can be killed, but wants to obviously counter build Huni and Spica mostly. Makes sense. TSM, what's their next big play? Because they have been the proactive team. And Cloud9 started this game out basically 3-1. And it's been TSM just getting better and better and better as the mid game progresses, finding kills not just on Fudge, but kind of everywhere else as well.
And I mean, it's pretty impressive to see that Spica started from such a disadvantage. I mean, he died 3 times, pretty much right off the bat. But he actually has higher KP than what Blaber does, right? You know, he's actually doing, yes, he is behind in the individual gold, but he's been able to make plays despite being so far behind this lillia. But 3-man sleep, excuse me, 2.
Ulti in for Huni. They're going to go right back on a Blaber. Pops the Zonias, but this engage has meant nothing. He's going to get stunned up, gets pulled in, gets killed. Lost gets yet another. TSM just better in the mid game.
This could be Baron potentially here. You have Azir, and the enemy jungler is dead. I don't know if they want to start it, but Spica's going to have a smite charge here in about 10 seconds. Looks like they will play it a little bit more safe, feeling like they don't need to rush it. With Kaisa Azir, though, you're always nervous about the chance that your opponents are going to be rushing that. So Cloud9 will check the pit, won't find anyone. Huni and Spica, though, looking for a face check here and are going to get one.
Good black shield on Reflex, good flash away. Going to be tough for Vulcan, but he's fine. Finding goes a little wide. Regardless, it is still 1 flash down. A nice try. Ult for flash is a pretty good trade.
Really, really good, honestly. I mean, you get that flash off of Perkz, and when you have this much dive, that makes him have to play incredibly safe in these next fights. He's going to have to be really, really careful to not get caught by Spica, by Huni, who do have the ability to dive very deep in these fights, especially with the Prowler's Claw, giving you more access towards that backline, more burst in these fights. So TSM just going to continue to push forward, looking to find these angles, looking to find these skirmishes where they can come out on top. And Cloud9 have got to find a way to really get the game back to their terms, right? To be able to find the fights where they are pre-set up with Caitlyn traps around an objective, forcing your opponents to come at you through the Viktor gravity field in angles that you are really going to be able to poke away at them and whittle them down before the fight starts. Because it feels like for now, TSM in a fully committed fight from full health come out on top.
Yeah, it looks like it right now. The Herald Summon's going to at least crush down at a mid because they cleared the wave, but yeah, I guess it gets really close to low. It was a pretty late Herald claim. It was close to 20 minutes when it was killed. So yeah, a stiff breeze will knock that down eventually. Zven can just rapid fire cannon it from, Raptors practically and earn some money, but otherwise still waiting for the third item, waiting for IE to really turn the build online. Keep in mind, Gale Force is, not the consistent damage item, and rapid fire cannon the same is the worst of the DPS items you could buy realistically on an AD carry. So, 2-item Kaisa is stronger than, in a lot of these cases, and you said it as well, than this 2-item Caitlyn build for Zven. 112 till the next Drake spawns. Mountain Drake obviously giving the extra defensive stats, keeps the TSM front line all that bit tankier. And we'll see who can get control of the bottom river soon.
But at least for Zven, he should be closing in on this IE. Has been on the BF plus the Crit Cloak for a while, so not going to need too much more gold to get towards that. And once he has that third item, should be able to again, secure his advantage. Obviously got a lot of gold from the turret plates, from the turrets early on, as well as the kill gold here. But as far as straight up DPS, Kaisa is going to be doing more. Fudge is kind of just a problem, though, right now for Cloud9. You know, he's very far behind. He's been down 2 levels consistently the entire game. And Huni is going such an aggressive build here, going for the GA third, having the BF in. Surprised to not see him go a little bit more tanky, but feeling like he just wants to dive in backline with the Prowler's Claw, utilize the passive on the GA to potentially trade out his life with that of a carry and make it a beneficial trade for TSM.
That's a bit of damage, though. Lost goes to half health right now, and in between waves doesn't have sustain, so good job. Looks like they're at least Raptors up, so yeah, getting 30 health per auto. He's fine. Yeah, you're right. Cloud9 not going to challenge this one. They're going to let Perkz just play top side and shove it in. We'll see if they can push down. Again, 1 auto kills mid lane tier 2, and no one's defending top lane just yet. So with Huni and Spica and PowerOfEvil all spending time holding down the dragon, it means Cloud9 will finish up mid lane tier 2. And I'm surprised they didn't really go for anything at top lane, since I think they should have known no one could defend that for a while. They'd get that turret down to half.
Yeah, maybe worried about TPs or something like that. But at the very least, they take away the top side jungle. They grab that mid lane tier 2. So they do get some gold for themselves. And I think they're just focusing on, all right, we want our second items here for our carries before we really do fight. So I think they're waiting for the IE for Caitlyn. They're waiting for a potential Banshee's Veil or something along those lines to come through from Perkz, and that's probably why Cloud9 wanted to delay at that point. But you know, TSM now, 2 straight Mountain Dragons for themselves, working towards Soul. Not that many pure tanks, really. I mean, they have the Hecarim who's behind, and they have, you know, some bonus stats there on the Nautilus, but because Huni's pretty much going straight for damage and just health, he's not going to get as much out of this Mountain Dragon, but still pretty valuable across the board here.
It is. It multiplies your base stat at the very least, and everyone gets, you know, 80 or so armor, and if you're melee, 50 magic resist by 18, so, you know, some bonuses sure to be had. And we'll see now what the next play is going to be, because Cloud9 have most been giving up the map. They've realized that the mid game has constantly gone to TSM, and I'm not even sure they have the team fight comp anymore. Nice shots on a SwordArt there. Lost gonna get tagged with the Q as well. Zven feels safe with the black shield nearby. TSM all near mid though. Spica dropped, and yeah, good DPS out of Zven. 60% crit with Infinity Edge. That is a good power spike. Yeah. That's definitely valuable. Gale Force in, nice. Yeah, 632 with the headshot crit.
They're going to Baron. They got a poke out here now. I think they're going to try to make TSM come to them at Baron. This is the kind of setup you want. When you have Caitlyn, when you have Viktor, if you can control space with the traps, with that gravity field, it makes it very difficult to walk into a setup Cloud9, and that's what they really want to get done. They got some nice poke down there, you know, utilizing the rapid fire, getting the poke both on PowerOfEvil as well as Spica as they tried to cross through mid. But will they have the confidence to actually pull the trigger and start that Baron? Because they don't have anyone over here to truly tank it for them. You do have the Moonstones, but I mean, there's no true tank, and Gnar is actually answering the bot lane wave, so despite the little bit of poke, the little bit of pressure that Cloud9 gets, they will relinquish the Baron area, give up vision around there, and really don't end up gaining much.
Flash play on a PowerOfEvil, but he's so far back. Are they going to find the much of an engage? There's the zone. He's going to imbue the ulti. Huni ults. Careful for Blaber. Has to run back out. So far, so good, though. Spica is low, and Huni going to be forced out. Mega Knight into the wall. Has to jump away to stay alive. There's no dragon to play, but maybe they can play for Baron. TP is still up for Huni to recall, but Spica is too low to fight, so instantly Cloud9 go for the Baron play.
Yeah, I mean, Huni has no flash or ultimate now. He just walked straight into the trap that time and got poked out, had to flash over the wall. Does have the GA now, but I think it may be too little too late. This Baron's going down very quick. We'll see if TSM can get in. PowerOfEvil is on the flank with ultimate available.
Flash and ult goes in, shuffles in 3. Is that the team fight they need? Blaber stuck in the pit. In comes Hecarim. Team Smite Masterclass. You better believe it's going to be happening. That was beautiful. TSM crushed the battle. 4-2. Get out of here, Cloud9. It's TSM's time to shine.
What a fight for TSM. PowerOfEvil finding the angle over the wall, had the flash, had the ulti, and he makes it count. TSM steal away the Baron. They get 4 kills. Fudge, the lone survivor here. It's just such a good engage there from PowerOfEvil. The QE over the wall, flash for the additional range, knocking 3 members into his team, despite the fact that they didn't have all the cooldowns available. They are able to stack in on Zven, take him out quickly, and Cloud9 well and truly have lost control over this game with one of the best starts you will ever see a competitive team get in the LCS, they are now at risk of losing this game. Their advantages are pretty much gone across the board here. You can see 3 items are in for a loss. Even the jungle is basically even on items despite that start because there are the additional kills and assists over on Spica. Azir is getting really, really strong. This is getting really tough for C9 to do anything.
Yep, Cloud9 coming off a 3-0 week, but they've dropped the Team Liquid and they are losing the TSM here. Great job as the duo knocks down Perkz, Lost, and Spica combined for one of the opposing mid laner. A shuffle comes across. Good black shield keeps Vulcan safe. Zven's out of the way. And it's going to be nothing else picked up. All right. But TSM knocked down mid lane outer. They've still got this Red Bull Baron on for 1:20. And mid lane tier 2 is going to keep taking damage.
Cloud9 are kind of falling apart. Perkz getting picked there is pretty inexcusable, it feels like. But maybe going to see Blaber die here too.
Zhonya's on. Black shield not going to mean enough. They just keep layering the damage and they get him. Here comes more coming out as Lost dives to the back line. Already 3 kills picked up. Gnar trades 1 back, but this could indeed be the game just ending. Fudge going to stay alive. Perkz back up in 8 seconds. Baron buff on for a full minute still. A 4v2 siege to see what they can get.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive they want to be. You know, the safe play is just take the inhibitor and back it up, but they could look for a flash engage onto Perkz here. And if you kill Perkz, you could potentially end the game. Looks like they want to posture to just back it up after. They're going to take the safer play, go out towards that Mountain Dragon, put themselves at sole point. But, I mean, Perkz, while the team has the Baron buff and is moving into Siege, by himself just trying to solo out the blue buff with no vision really around there, with no control, no one to back him up. Perkz getting picked off there was really, really bad. And then Blaber just kind of wandering forward here. Goes into the zone, is sure, but the follow-up CC is there. The knock-up from the ultimate coming through across Vulcan. Lost, ulting straight in onto Zven. Easily winning that 1v1. Cloud9 are getting run over in a game where they had one of the best possible starts. Huni, up 3 levels, still has ulti and everything. He can just kill you.
Prowler Claw in for the big stun. Perkz gets the stun back, though, but here comes Hecarim, and Spica gets another. Look at the scoreboard. Which jungler do you think started out losing all 4 buffs and was 0-3? Is it the 3-3-10 Hecarim or the 0-3-4 lillia?
This is crazy. I mean, it was what, 55 CS to 12? So, something like that?
Yeah.
Perkz looking for a pretty desperate play there, you know, trying to get the 1v1 onto Huni. Again, no idea where the rest of the team is for TSM, and Huni still had his Prowler's Claw, he still had his ult, he still had GA, everything was available. Spica in the area, turns it around for an easy kill for TSM. Cloud9 looking like they have lost everything in this game. They have no forward momentum anymore at this point. It is TSM fully in control, taking every tower, taking everything around the map. Massive level leads across the board now at this point. 3 levels in the top lane, 2 levels in the mid lane, 2 levels in the bot lane. They are well and truly ahead in every metric despite that start, and it feels like a really tough loss potentially here for them would be back-to-back losses against TL and TSM if TSM can close this one out.
Here we go. Cloud9 on defense inside the base. 4th item in for Zven. Bloodthirster completed, so certainly a high damage champion, and you know, it's not like it's going to be little out of a 3-item victor either. Problem is the team fights have been too dynamic. It's been SwordArt with, up until recently, 100% participation, but 15 out of 18 is still great. He's been getting the engages. He's been getting it done. Speak's been getting it done. PoE and Lost have been combining into the back line as well. Another turret's going to fall. That's without Baron buff on. C9 just couldn't hold the waves.
Yep, yeah, they don't seem to be able to contest in the 1v1s. They can't contest in the 5v5. So what do you really have going? And the answer is kind of just nothing right now. You know, Zven has been really strong, still has a lot of items to your point, but in every single fight, they're just getting piled on top of him. You know, the previous one, Lost getting the ult in on top of him. They have so much dive. They have so much backline access. Huni with this Prowler's Claw has really been very effective.
Okay,
despite
the play.
Okay.
This has got to be the play. Fudge, he's got Gnar, and he's going to be on top of PowerOfEvil. This should be an easy mega. He can jump over it and ult him backwards. He's got Huni here as well. There we go. Forces the flash of the PowerOfEvil, and Huni's getting the damage in. But they still got snipes coming across. Mega Gnar into the wall. That's a pick, and it's right in front of Baron. That's in 30 seconds. Only one inhib is down, but they just one-shot Perkz. He had flash up, and it didn't matter. This is SwordArt now reaching the backline. They're gonna just pick off Zven, and they don't even need a mid. TSM's good with that one. Fudge can only run away. A triple kill already for Lost. He wants the fourth. It's gonna be no problem. Huni will not steal it, and all that's left is Vulcan. Where is he even gonna go? SwordArt gonna try to lock the man down. They're gonna give him the Penta. Change his name. It's TSM 100. Into the mid lane they go. TSM will knock down Cloud9.
What an ending for TSM. Lost with the pentakill, wiping Cloud9 off the map. They will take down Cloud9 in an incredible comeback. One of the worst early games you could ever have here for TSM, but winning fight after fight after fight, playing to win in this game, finding so many picks, continuing to go at their opponents and outplaying them at every turn.
Oh, they're gonna get a Guardian Angel and not much else. SwordArt flashed Flash Wolf's flare. He gave Perkz a G2 emote and said thanks very much, but we're gonna take it from here. Well done, TSM. As you said, Azael, the worst early game you could imagine, and yet it was still jungle difference, support difference, didn't matter. What a beautiful game for TSM.
Man, it was everything difference this game. It felt like TSM, after the early game, outplaying them across the board. You know, Perkz getting picked left and right, while PoE is playing really well, finding that beautiful engage by the Baron pit. Huni was massively ahead of Fudge, more effective the entire game through. You know, Zven started with multiple kills, but it was Lost coming up bigger in the team fights. It was SwordArt finding the engages. It's Spica down multiple levels, getting picks left, right, and center with his ultimate, always the right place at the right time. That is such a good game for TSM to come away with a win after how that started. Talk about a confidence boost for them. And on the other side for Cloud9, that is a backbreaker of a game. They just got beat bad by TL, and then to come into this game, have that start and lose, that stings.
It really does. And so you come away with it and you say, all right, we gear up for the last week of the sort of second round robin, right? You're going to get your 18 games in. You've got 3 starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then midseason showdown. Then it's time to go through your double elim bracket and try to make it to the MSI. You got 3 games to figure out why you dropped the TL and why you threw an absurd lead against TSM where you got 11 turret plates at 14 minutes and then just couldn't play mid-game out. And Cloud9's got to figure this one out because these are their opponents in the best of 5s. These are their opponents. We know CNN's heading to playoffs. We're almost certain they're going to be an upper bracket start, but they got to clean this up quickly because there's not a lot of time left until it's be the best team or don't show up to MSI at all. Don't go over to Reykjavik. And yeah, we'll see you for the rest of the games, and then you can try again for Worlds. But Cloud9, they fell short in Summer Split last year. Midway through the split, they just became a pumpkin. They stopped winning games, and they missed Worlds when they were the best run that NA had ever seen. And here they were in first place again, and okay, it's 2 games. It's not, you know, always the trend, but it's still troubling.
It is. It is very troubling. And to your point, I mean, you know, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but that can start to get into the back of your mind, right? Where you're the best team and everything just falls off the rails. We'll see if Cloud9 can stabilize coming in next week.
All right, going to be a fun game regardless. TSM, good job to them. They are 1 game behind first. We'll see if CNN drops any more and TSM could take that seed. That's going to do it for us, for me and Azael. But after the break, Riv will be talking to Lost in a Verizon post-game interview, so we'll see you then.